Well, this is again one of those videos that's kind of hard to make because I believe I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that Kevin Sullivan, a professional wrestling legend, had been in a car accident and was in a hospital and needing medical, treatment, stuff like that. His daughter started a GoFundMe for him, and I contributed, and I was keeping up with this thing until I got an email this morning saying that Kevin, at 74 years old, had just passed away. Love him or hate him, Kevin had one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling. I remember originally seeing him in the old WWF as a young guy that came in and basically, did jobs for everybody in the company, won a few matches here and there, and then left. He never returned to the WWE. He went all over the place: Australia, Japan, Hawaii, Tennessee, and then eventually wound up in Florida, where he created that whole Army of Darkness persona, the craziness that went on. And basically that's what made Florida wrestling so much fun back then. Totally, crazy stuff that he did, with the Purple Haze, Mark Lewin coming out of the sea, and Mark Lewin telling him that if you want this gimmick to work, we got to live it 24/7. So they'd actually show up at restaurants wearing their robes and stuff like that, and Kevin would order for Mark because Mark didn't talk. They did a lot down there in Florida. I remember his big opponent was Blackjack Mulligan, who basically dwarfed Kevin because Kevin was about 5'8" and weighed 250 pounds, where Mulligan was well over 6 feet and weighed well over 300 pounds. According to Kevin, Mulligan was the most unselfish guy he ever wrestled because Mulligan gave him a lot, and when it was time for Mulligan to even up, he'd say, no, let's wait, let's make it worth something. One match they had, which people don't realize, was a 1 week match. And this was basically, they had house shows at certain places every week in Florida. So this match was, I guess, the main event, and they brawled outside the building and down the road and kept on fighting until there was nobody watching them. When they returned to that venue the week later, they came crashing in the front door, still wearing their wrestling trunks from last week and still beating the crap out of each other. Unfortunately, that match is not available on any video or something like that. That was just a house show. Crazy stuff. Sullivan once said that, he saw wrestling as a kid, but he knew it was fake except for the Sheik, because the Sheik scared the shit out of him. Well, he would get a chance to work with just about everybody who scared the shit out of him, including the Sheik, Mark Lewin, King Curtis, Abdullah the Butcher, Dusty Rhodes, Terry Funk, all those guys. There was actually a DVD put out where basically there was this four-way brawl with Sullivan, Terry Funk, Dusty Rhodes, and Abby. Kevin also was in ECW, not when it was, I don't know if it was Extreme Championship Wrestling then or Eastern Championship Wrestling, but he and the Tasmaniac, aka Taz, held the titles there for a while. Of course, Tasmaniac was another nutty motherfucker that would go well with Sullivan. So they were supposed to fight Pat Tanaka and a mystery partner. Well, the mystery partner turned out to be the original Sheik. So him and Sullivan basically brawled around the whole ring while Tanaka wrestled Taz, and basically hit each other with everything that wasn't nailed down, including the ring hammer, the ring bells, chairs, tables, and it ended when the Sheik threw a couple fireballs. As we all know, Sullivan, went to Smoky Mountain, worked for Jim Cornette, was the booker in WCW. Basically, after WCW, he did a lot of indie work, including working for Major League Wrestling, NWA New Jersey, a whole bunch of places. So it was like he never stopped, and I think when he got in this accident, he was attending a Florida Wrestling Convention when this thing happened. It really sucks because this guy was another big part of my late night TV viewing, because Florida Wrestling from Florida came on at 11 p.m. on a Spanish network channel. So all I can say is it's a very sad day for wrestling. One of the greatest minds ever has been lost. And all I can say at this venture is rest in peace, Kevin Sullivan, and thank you for everything you did. And it's like guys like Kevin and Terry and Abby and Dusty George the Animal Steel can't be replaced because they were unique in the world of professional wrestling, and nobody today does what they do or even can come close to what they do. So sadly, that's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing, tuning in, and we'll catch you on the flip side with some happier news.